Off the bat, audio is gonna be choppy. I'm already knowing, simply because of this wind. So yeah, damn it, man. I wish this wind wasn't blowing so bad. I am on Governor's Island in the great New York City, chilling. I am on one of my random side quests, obviously, just trying to find a good spot to shoot content. I had a conversation with one of my coworkers recently about like your potential and how people have potential, but they squander it, and sometimes it goes to waste. I feel like most people who have a lot of potential, but they don't know how to utilize it. I have went through periods of feeling like, I am really wasting my potential and there's a lot more I could be doing in my life. You know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure there's other people who be feeling like that sometimes. And, a lot of people be having the potential to do great things in life, but they too scared to tap into it for whatever reason. You can't be scared to tap into your potential. If you feel like you wasting it, you probably are. You need to go find out what you need to be doing or what you can do. Don't waste your potential sitting around doing things that, don't feel right to you. If you feel like you have the potential to do great things in life, start doing great things in life. If you don't know what that is, go figure it out. Don't stay anywhere that you feel like you're wasting your potential. If you feel like you're meant for greater and you're meant to do better things in life, you got to get up and go start doing it, There are plenty of avenues to take. You just got to figure out which avenue is right for you. I told my coworker, because he going through a point in life, trying to figure out what he want to do with his life. And we find ourselves working at these jobs, and so much time goes by. Next thing you know, you look up, and you're older. You know what I mean? You're older, and you've wasted so much time and potential that could have been put towards something else in your life that really is what you're meant to do. Especially if you're young, you shouldn't waste your time doing things that squander your potential. In the back of your head, it's gonna eat away at you forever, wondering what you could have went to go do, what you could have been doing. And you don't never want to go through life wondering what could have been. Just go try. A lot of people have the potential to do, like I said, great things. It's a lot of people that got talent that they don't. What am I trying to say? That they don't practice refining, skills that they could capitalize off of that they don't. And you shouldn't let any of that go to waste. You should try to at least see what happens. I probably done touched on some of this before, but why not say something about it again? For me, I always had this feeling of like there's something that I should be doing in the back of my head. Like I'm like there's something I need to be doing. I don't know what it is, but I feel like I need to be figuring it out. Maybe that was anxiety. I don't know. Maybe that was me, realizing that I'm meant for more. I don't know. But if you're feeling like that, I feel like that eats away at you. And you get lost in that, that process of thinking. And you got to replace it with more doing. I'm short. The thing is, I didn't like that feeling. The more I felt it, the more I wanted to go and figure out what the hell it is I'm supposed to be doing with my life. Because I know what I was doing wasn't working out. Or at least it wasn't what I wanted to do, let's say. Yeah. Figure that out, because you don't want to squander your potential and waste it on shit that doesn't matter. If you have a talent that you would like to work on and get better at, go get better at it and improve it. If you have a skill that you want to work on and improve, go improve it. You never know where it might lead you. It could lead you to great things. Me, I don't know. I feel like I got certain talents and skills that I need to work on. I've been trying to do that, stuff like that, as of recent. It's coming together to a degree. I've been finding certain shit that I've been getting used to or liking to do. The more like I've said before, the more I explore this city, the more I get in touch with stuff that I feel like is something I would like to do. Like I said, don't squander your potential. If you feel like you're meant to do better in your life and you're not you don't feel like life is going anywhere for you right now, make it go somewhere. It's a lot you could be doing out here trying to figure it out. You feel like you got the potential, to achieve things and do great things, go do it. You don't ever want to live life wondering what could have been. Make it a point to actually at least try and make an effort to go do things that you want to do or things that you like to do. You know what I mean? You never know what could happen. And don't be afraid to be taught and to learn more. If you need to get better at something that you want to do, go find out how to get better at it. Go practice. Go talk to people who have knowledge and expertise in that field or whatever. You never know what can happen. You got to open your mouth and talk to people. Something I'm learning myself. It's not easy if you're an introvert. You can't be afraid to be educated by people. We don't know everything. And don't feel dumb just because you feel like, you had to ask a question. No question is a dumb question if you're trying to get better at something. You just gotta ask. And like I've already said in a previous video, conversation rules the nation. You talk to the right people, you get the right information. You learn things that you didn't know prior to having that conversation. And that's how you tap into your true potential, especially when doing things that you want to do or trying to achieve something that you want to achieve. A lot of people sitting at their jobs miserable because they didn't go out and try to achieve their dreams or try to do something that they really wanted to do in life. That's their fault, I mean, granted, there are certain circumstances in life that happen that you have no control over. So I can't say it's their fault, at least not all of their fault. But if you have a certain amount of control over your life, then you should make it a point to go do things that feel right to you or learn things that you want to learn. There are no dumb questions. Don't be afraid to ask. You know what I mean? Something I'm still working on my damn self, because like I said, I don't talk much. I'm very introverted, as I've already said before. That's something I'm breaking out of, though, because I've been talking to more people, learning different stuff. You got to continue to be curious in life. Don't limit yourself, or you're going to be sitting at your job miserable, sitting at home miserable, wondering why you didn't do this and why you didn't do that. You don't want to be old and miserable. Time passes by quick as fuck. Time passes by very quick. You young one day, you look up, you old. Gotta enjoy life and enjoy the journey and the process of getting to where you're trying to go. Don't get stuck on the end goal. Enjoy the process. Talk to people. Go to the bar, have a drink, talk to a stranger. It's just things, simple stuff like that teaches you a lot. When you just go off the cuff and do certain stuff that just you wouldn't normally have done. I mean, do everything within reason, of course. Take educated risks. Yeah, work within your means. Don't go overboard with it. Humans are funny. We make a certain amount of money and we want more money, right? We make more money, we start spending more money. It seems like we can never live a little bit below our means. It's natural, I guess, for humans to want more and try to strive for more, especially financially. But you got to learn when to cap it. Don't live above your means. Don't live above your means. Live a little bit below your means if you're trying to get somewhere. If you got a goal, a financial goal, any type of goal, and it requires you to do a little less spending, a little less of this, a little less of that, do that. Manage what you do and what you spend, and that can go for anything. I guess that go for anything, not just money. Because it's funny, right? Because look at all these lights. It seemed like the more efficient humans got with lights, the more we started using lights. It's kind of counterproductive, ain't right? And I was thinking about that the other day, because these lights stay on all night in all these damn buildings. What the hell are they doing in them buildings? Man, they can't be doing anything all night. What the hell? It looks nice though, because this is New York City. This is what people are attracted to. They love this shit. So it makes sense, but it don't make sense at the same time. We came out with more efficient light bulbs, more efficient ways to use energy, and it made us start using even more of it, if that makes any sense. So it's I guess that ties into humans living a little bit below their means, or at least trying to. I don't know. Does it matter? I don't know if any of this affects the environment or pollution, light pollution. I don't know what the fuck going on. To produce this much energy and have it burning constantly, it's costing something. It's having a negative effect probably somewhere, probably something we don't see. And that's the thing. Like, you never know. It's a lot of people living a little bit too above their means, and they can make it look good, but it's costing them somewhere in life. It's costing them in ways that we can't see because they're not gonna let us see. I mean, granted, that's their business, but it ties into something I've said about taking everything for face value. But anyway, I digress. When you're trying to achieve goals, and you got dreams and whatnot, and it requires you to move and operate a certain way, you have to make those sacrifices so you can get to that point. Because once you get to that point, maybe you'll be able to live a little bit more comfortably and a little bit more above your means. Who knows? You never really want to live above your means, because if you ain't got it like that, then don't make it seem like you got it like that. Try to operate in a reasonable area. That's something I had to teach myself, because when I started making more money once I came here, I started spending more. Definitely, I got to tell myself, even now, I've been trying to taper off on my spending and make my spending a little bit more reasonable. Eventually, I want to get a house or something. You know what I mean? And it's gonna require me to operate a certain way. I got financial goals I want to accomplish. And yeah, sometimes making more money ain't the answer. It's using your money more efficiently. You know what I mean? And that could go for a lot of things. Sometimes it ain't about how much energy you got. It's about using your energy a little more efficiently and what you put energy into and whatnot. Yeah. Operate within your means, man. Operate with less emotions and more logic. We are very emotional creatures as humans, and it's good to have emotions. It's good to be emotional sometimes, You just gotta learn when to cut it off. It's about being logical too. Don't let emotions cloud your judgment. Don't let emotions cloud your judgment. There are times you might want to be angry and you have to calm down. Anger is not always going to be the right way to respond to a situation. I know this is a random topic switch, but yeah, sometimes you got to learn how to control your emotions and don't respond to everything emotionally. It's not required. And a lot of times online, I see people always try to win arguments with emotion, because it's so easy to get people to agree with you when you're making an emotional argument. Nobody likes to make a logical argument, because it's harder and takes a little longer to win people over like that, because most people are thinking emotionally. And stay away from people. Don't even get into arguments with people who are too emotional. Try to avoid arguments with people who get too emotional, because they can't see the forest for the trees, or whatever, however you say that. Because at the end of the day, you can't really convince them people, at least not in that moment when the emotions are high, and then they got all these other people who thinking emotionally that's agreeing with them. You just gotta avoid it. Like, if anything, prove your point through actions, if anything, you know what I mean? Or showing them facts and data, whatever. Just just avoid those arguments, especially on social media, because once somebody taps into other people's emotions, and then all these emotional creatures start gathering on one post or something and agreeing, and it's hard to win that fight at that point. You can still try, but it's just not feasible. I don't know, it just doesn't make too much sense. At least not to me. I don't know, do what you want to do, but like I said, there's just too many people out here thinking with their emotions. I know these topics seem very random. I'm just kind of going off the cuff with some notes I wrote down, and I guess I was too focused on finding a good spot to record in. And this is beautiful, it really is, but I got to get better with how I do this, especially if I'm talk about some meaningful things, you know what I mean? But this is just part of me going out and trying to enjoy myself, man. This scenery. One thing I know is that, like, when you absorb information into your senses, like, sight, touch, smell, sound, stuff like that, what you hear, it just, especially when they new experiences and it's new information, it starts to make your brain operate in a certain way. Like, this is not something that I'm used to. I'm still getting used to it. I've been here 2 years now. I'm still getting used to stuff like this. That's why I always encourage people to explore. I mean, I'm always exploring something new. I've Because I believe that really just opens you up mentally. I don't want to rehash something I've already said, but like I said, you got to get out and explore stuff. You got to look around you sometimes and just put your phone down and just look up and look at everything. Go to a different city, try different food, talk to different people. I'm learning, I'm really learning. And I'm coming out of I was in a dark space for a long time. And I'm glad I finally came out of it because it was really mind racking. I mean, like, I was in a space mentally where it just wasn't good and I wasn't talking to nobody about it. I came out of it though. I still have days, don't get me wrong, everybody have days, obviously. But I'm more on the happier side than I've been in a very long time. And that's my whole point, man. Just being happy, being as happy as possible, going and experiencing different shit. Because life is so short. We don't have a lot of time here, you know what I mean, in the grand scheme of things. And I don't mean to get like existential and shit, but yeah, we don't have a lot of time here in the grand scheme of things. Our lives are just such a brief period, you know what I mean? The universe and the earth itself have been around for so long, and we only get so short a time in all of it. You have to really open yourself up to new experiences and new things. I don't want to be here and next thing I know, I'm on my deathbed thinking and regretting. I already got regrets. Some things I wish I did differently, obviously. Some things I wish, I would have been more privy to. Certain information I wish I would have had. But it is what it is. Like, you live and you learn. It's about what you do going forward from here on out. Because if you get caught up in stuff like that, you won't see the future. You'll be stuck in the past. Enjoy the time you have. Enjoy what you got on this earth. We don't have a lot of time. It feels like it, but we really don't in the grand scheme of things. You have to open yourself up to new experiences and new things and try things. And don't let people hold you back or hold you down, Because if you do, then you ain't living. Take it all in, every moment. It's worth it. I wish I would have been more open-minded in my earlier days. But like I said, it is what it is. Can't keep thinking about stuff like that. It's all about from here forward. From here going forward. What are you going to do? What am I going to do? Are you going to better yourself or are you not? That's all that matters. Everything else is just a distraction. Don't get caught up in the BS that people got to say about you, that people do around you. Just do what you got to do and love yourself. Like, I read this quote recently that said, if you could go back in the past and erase all of your mistakes, you are erasing who you are. Everything up until now made you who you are today, for better or worse. If you're conscious of all of your flaws, you're better able to move forward knowing how to make yourself better. You got to admit to yourself that you have flaws. You don't want to be a narcissist. A narcissist don't believe anything's wrong with them. They believe everybody around them has a problem. And I've met a lot of narcissists in my life. We all are narcissists, honestly. It's a spectrum. Narcissism is a spectrum. Because as humans, most of us are self-absorbed. We all think we special. At least most of us. Most of us think we special. Most of us think, the world revolves around us, or we have some type of special anointing on us, or stuff like that. At the end of the day, you're a normal human just like anybody else. Nothing is better about you. Nothing is worse about you. We're all equal. Some of us have more skill and talent than the next person, but it's nothing that you can't work to accomplish, except for when it comes down to like something that's genetically predisposed. Like LeBron, for example. There aren't too many people who can be LeBron because it's a genetic thing, right? But that don't mean you can't do something else better than LeBron can. You just got to find out what you good at that he can't do. You know what I mean? So don't be so self-absorbed and narcissistic that you can't see your own faults. Because you'll always stay in the same area in life if you can't open up your eyes enough to be able to look at yourself in the mirror. Stay away from people who can't see their own faults in their ways. Stay away from people who think they're not the problem. You have to stay away from them people because they are toxic and they will rob you of your peace. That's narcissism, you know. Narcissistic personality disorder goes heavily undiagnosed because a narcissist never thinks they're the problem. They're not gonna go to the damn doctor, get diagnosed. So diagnose it for yourself. See the signs. Get away from those people. I was in a relationship with a narcissist, and she drained a lot of life out of me. But the good thing about that relationship was the fact that it kind of revealed toxic traits that I also have or had, maybe still have. I don't know. I'm working on that. But like I said, it revealed toxic traits and flaws that I have, things that I need to work on. Basically, a narcissist will make you fucking second guess yourself, all types of stuff. But they will also, I will say, I feel like they kind of reveal flaws about you as well. Maybe you're too nice. Maybe you're too passive on things. You know what I mean? Things like that. That's what that revealed about me. Like, I'm too nice sometimes. I'm too passive. And you can't be like that. You can't be too nice. You can be a good person without being nice all the time. You don't got to be nice to everybody. Everybody don't deserve to be nice to. Be a good person. That's all that counts, But you have to stand firm on some stuff, and you have to know how to say no to people. That's definitely something I had to learn, because people will run you dry if you don't got no control, especially if they're a narcissist. You know what I mean? You have to be able to look yourself in the mirror and just work on the things that make you susceptible to somebody else's bullshit. And a lot of people think they got healing spirits and all of that. They think they got some type of special thing about them where these people are attracted to them, and so they feel like they are obligated to help them or whatever. Those are the type of people that narcissists prey on. Like, no, it ain't about them. Stay away from them. You can't help them at all. And the more you try to help people like that, the more you drain yourself. The more you just send yourself into like an abyss and a darkness or whatever, So don't always be nice to people. You don't have to be nice. You have to be good. That's it. Be a good person. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's bad to be nice. You just got to learn when to turn it off and stand on your morals and your values and stand your ground. That's something I'm learning. It's something I really had to learn, I was just saying earlier, we all self-absorbed. We all got narcissistic qualities. But sometimes you got to realize you just a cog in the wheel. You're part of the grand scheme of things. This world is turning and turning, and when you're gone, it's gonna keep turning. Time is gonna keep moving. So sometimes you gotta learn when to not make it all about you and pay attention to what's going on around you and how you fit into the bigger picture. I'm not saying that you shouldn't, take care of yourself or know when to only make it about you. There are a lot of times where you should be a little more self-absorbed, or especially when you reflecting or being introspective or whatever, or trying to make yourself a better person. But part of self-improvement is knowing when to not make it about you, or when to, if I'm saying this right, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but I feel like part of self-improvement and developing is knowing when to realize when it ain't all about you and looking at the grander scheme of things that's going on in the world and a part of whatever ecosystem you're in or environment. Because I feel like it helps. It gives you a broader sense of reality. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Reality and what's in our heads are often two different things. And the reality of it is the world is way bigger than us and what we think and what we perceive, So be a little less self-absorbed. Learn when to be empathetic. Show empathy to people. Empathy is a big deal. You got to learn how to show people empathy. Because if you can make yourself feel what other people are feeling, it puts you more in touch with what's going on around you in reality. When somebody close to you gets hurt or something devastating happens to them, especially when you love them, you feel that, That's a skill you should carry everywhere. I'm not saying you should absorb everybody's emotions and, stuff like that, but you should at least be in touch with other people's emotions and learn to feel what they're feeling. That'll help you be less self-absorbed. If any of that even makes sense. I hope that even made sense. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. I have no clue. These waves are crashing, boy. Let me tell you something. So, I know my topics. I trail off a lot. Shit be random. I'm working on it, man. I'm working on having a better train of thought. I kind of segue a lot. Yeah, I know. This was almost kind of a freestyle. I had notes, but different things came up in my mind. The first part of this video was kind of shaky, but I'm trying to get better. I really am. And I say a lot. You could probably make a drinking game out of how many times I say and you would be very fucking drunk. But this is all part of the self-improvement process, and I'm happy I'm actively doing it. I'm happy I'm actively trying to do something that I told myself I would do, and it's actually helping. I see the progress. When you start seeing progress, you get excited, and it's gonna make you want to keep going. So you be patient for that progress, man. I know we want things immediately so bad, but you have to be patient. You have to trust the process. And like I've already said in my last video, you have to fall in love with the process, because the results are what make you keep going. But if you don't see the results immediately, you have to trust that they are coming. As long as you're doing right by yourself, and as long as you are trying, you will see progress. But you can't give up because you don't see anything. And I see a lot with people in the gym. That's like the main thing. And the gym is analogous to life. Progress with anything. You can't get good at anything if you don't start and if you don't try. Of course you're gonna be trash at it in the beginning. Everybody started somewhere. You can't be afraid to be bad at something. You gotta be bad in order to get good. And you can't stop. Just keep going, Somebody say you bad at this, you bad at that. Don't listen to them. Keep trying, keep practicing. Do right by yourself, and you will be good one day. I've been doing this for about 2 months now, maybe. The progress has been incremental. It's been getting better and better. It's the little things, the little steps accumulate into the bigger scheme of things that you're trying to get accomplished. The little improvements all add up. They all add up. So keep improving little by little. You're gonna be where you need to be. Don't worry about it. Don't worry yourself so much about things. Everything will get better. Trust the process, keep improving, believe in yourself, and you're going to get to where you need to be. Don't stop just because you don't see results immediately. Like I've said in my last video, I kind of just rehashed that. It is what it is. Believe in yourself. Don't ever give up. Keep striving, keep going, Don't be so self-absorbed. Don't be narcissistic. Stay away from narcissists. They don't mean you any good. Believe in yourself. Don't squander your potential. You meant for great things. Go get it. Go out and achieve it. Don't be afraid to learn. Do not be afraid to feel dumb. Ask questions and don't assert your opinion on people. Just because you got an opinion, don't mean it's the right opinion. It could be an uneducated opinion. Don't be afraid to be corrected. Stay away from, social media is crazy, because I see a lot of what I talk about, I see it on social media. People make these statements and opinions, and when somebody try to correct them or at least give them a different train of thought, they get offended, and they try to they put their foot down even more and stand on their dumb logic. Or I ain't gonna say dumb logic, they stand on their opinion even more. And I read in a book one time, like, when you push against people, the only thing they do is tense up and get on defensive mode. Sometimes even when you right, they still get defensive, and they just gonna harden up even more. You have to show them either through actions or wait until they soften up a bit, especially in front of people, because there's so many eyes on these posts. People get real defensive because they don't want to look dumb in front of people. If it's important enough and you feel like going out of your way, sometimes you gotta slide on them privately, get in their inbox or person to person in real life. When you in a group of people, when somebody feel offended and you try to correct them or whatever, or give them facts or a different way of thinking, and they get defensive, pull them to the side or wait until they get less defensive. Wait until they soften up a bit and just, hey, tell them, look, tell them how you feel, tell them the facts, and don't be afraid if somebody do that to you. Be a little more open to receiving information that could be correct. Do fact check, do your own research, obviously, but you can't let yourself get caught up in being so defensive that you're not ready to learn and receive information. Because your opinion could come from an uneducated source. You might have got the wrong information, or things change too. Information you have now could be different tomorrow. Look at the medical field, for example. Like, things change in the medical field so rapidly. You got all this research being done and new data coming out. You got to learn when to be open to information and change. What's right to you might not be right at all, or it might not be right for somebody else. Be open to other people's train of thought. Just because you have a difference in opinion with somebody don't mean you can't learn from them. Just sit down and talk. Have a decent conversation. Figure out why they think the way they think, and it could be a valuable experience. You don't always have to agree with anybody. That's why you have to be open to information. Like in the book I've read, and like I've said before, you got to be like a child. Children look at the world with such wonder, and they constantly asking questions and being curious. You have to be like a child when it comes to that stuff. Receive information and research it, whatever. Be open to learning is all I'm saying. Be open to letting people tell you their point of view, so it can help you look at things from different angles and look at life from different perspectives. Your way is not always the right way or the right train of thought, but you could do the same for somebody else. Your way, if you can explain to somebody why you think the way you think, it could give them a different perspective on how to look at things. That's all I'm saying. Just be more open-minded with people. Have conversations. Have uncomfortable conversations, even if it makes you uncomfortable. If you're learning from it, you're going to have to be uncomfortable for a minute. You know what I mean? How are you going to learn if you can't let somebody educate you? That's all it is, But my phone finna die, so I'm finna wrap this up before I be stuck on Governor's Island. That is it. I will catch y'all on the next video. Peace out.